But I sure intend. I can't keep standing here all by myself.
Here we are at the BC Sports Hall of Fame, and joining me is professional singer and songwriter Eddie Lam, and he's here to talk about his budding career and what's next for him. Welcome to the show, Eddie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Christine.
Oh, what a place to be, right?
Right.
BC Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, man.
So, tell me, when did your passion for music begin?
Well, my passion began a long time ago. Going back when I was a kid, I would listen to my parents' vinyl records, right,
Okay.
and cassette tape collections. So that's when my interest started sparking, right? So I would listen to, say, for example, they would have like the original Ghostbusters soundtrack on vinyl, so I would listen to that. And then, of course, they also have Bee Gees' early stuff before they went disco, and then they even have Supertramp on there in their collection. And then when I started listening to cassette tapes, also, they had a collection of everything. They had things like Flock of Seagulls, Michael Jackson, all those '80s hits that you would hear, and then when it came to the time when much music and MTV became a huge thing, then I started getting to bands like Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, a lot of stuff from the grunge era, and I was such a sucker for that. And of course, like I listened to a lot of like different kinds of hip hop artists, and the genres go on and on my end. But then when it came to playing music, well, my sisters actually took piano lessons, and when I saw them play at their piano recitals, I thought, hey, that'd be kind of fun to do this kind of thing. So I asked my parents, I said, hey, Mom, Dad, can I take piano lessons? And they're like, okay, sure, that's pretty cool. And so that's how it all started. But then, of course, in high school, as I got older, I decided to try some other instruments. So in high school band, I took clarinet, and then. But as I got older as a teenager, I decided to learn how to play guitar, drums, and all that stuff too. Just because with me growing up listening to rock music, I was just like, hey, I want to try this too. I want to do what Kurt Cobain and then Chris Cornell, all those other artists are doing. Just having that cool excitement, And then when I first tried the electric guitar, I was just like, wow, this is so cool. This sounds really amazing.
How old were you?
So when I was 10 years old, I started doing piano, and then of course, then when I was like about 13, then I started doing clarinet in high school, and then when I turned 16, I decided I really do want to play rock music. So that's when drums and guitar came to play.
Oh my goodness! So you play the piano?
That's right.
Guitar.
Yeah.
And
drums.
Drums.
And bass. Actually, it's so funny because I started in mid 2019. I started playing bass more, and I revisited my interest in playing bass again. And so I had some friends that would ask me, like my really good friend Sammy, he would say, "Hey, Ed, do you want to play bass for some of my gigs?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I would."
That's wonderful. And I mean, do you have a favorite instrument, or does it depend?
It really all depends, because the thing is, when you're playing different various instruments, you're like, oh, okay, this is fun. But after a couple hours, I'm like, I wonder how this would sound to drums, right? Or so you just hop from an instrument to another. But I think piano will always be my main love for sure, just because that was my first instrument, right? And I was classically trained, so after receiving formal training, I've developed all the skills for theory, right, and even just figuring out even how to play various songs on piano. Not just traditionally classical music, for example. So I could, if I wanted to do a Beatles song, or if I wanted to learn a song even by say Blink-182 or various bands like that, I'm going to try to see if I can pull off playing on piano and just kind of go from there.
That's wonderful. And you sing too.
I do, yes.
So everything.
Almost everything. I haven't tried brass instruments yet, and that's a tough one for sure. That's a different world itself. But when it came to singing, I actually learned singing when I was about, I think, 19 or 20. I had a really amazing teacher who's local here. Her name is Salve Dio, and she's one of my favorite jazz vocalists, actually. But she does various genres too. But she taught me a lot at a short span of time, and our first recital she ever put on was this big Christmas production that she did. So it was like Salve's Christmas concert for her students at the Michael J. Fox Theater, if you can believe it. And it was so cool experiencing that. But I learned a lot of things from her in terms of the fact that she and her family, they have a very wholesome attitude. They provided a wholesome atmosphere to her students. So whenever we would have these rehearsal nights at her house, here, there's like us and like 20 other students in the household, but she would make it a nice, comforting atmosphere at her home. So she would even do things like, she and her family would make dinner for us too, and she would just be sitting there chatting with the students' parents and all that stuff, while downstairs we're still working on our music. So it felt more like a party than a rehearsal.
Yes, and you learn better that way too.
I believe so. Yes.
And you also sing. You write songs.
Yeah, we do. Yes, that's right.
It's so multi-talented now. I understand you're in 3 bands.
That's right. Yes.
So Cry of Silence.
That's right.
The Naturals.
That's right, yes.
And the All-Star Band.
Eddie Lam All-Star Band.
Yeah, so tell us about that, each one.
Sure. So Cry of Silence was the first project I've actually started. And I wanted it to be an opportunity to inspire other Asian musicians, because we're an all-Asian rock band, basically. So our genres, we combine grunge music, pop punk, maybe a little bit of emo rock too. So we combine all those genres in one, because that's the stuff we've grown up listening to. And we wanted to, like I said, it's been one of those ways that we can inspire other Asian musicians that, you don't have to limit yourself to, any genre that we may have been stereotypically known for. It's like, if you want to rock it hard, then why not? So, right? That's because that's the stuff I grew up listening to. So I want, and even for us too, like we like to use our shows that we do to help showcase other independent bands too. For us being locals, we know what it's like being the new person on the block, right? It's not easy. So for us, we've been very DIY for our shows for the last several years. So we decided to just put on our own shows and just invite any other bands, who we feel, not just the same old bands all the time, but we'd be like, if we ever see like a new band that does a really good job, then of course we go and ask them to say, hey, do you want to do a show with us? And they're like, would I?
Every day they see you going out to the streets, always making music with your guitar and beats.
Where do you perform?
It varies, actually. So the last several years we've been playing at different all-ages places, actually.
Okay.
We used to play at the 333, which is on Clark and Hastings. So that place is no longer around, unfortunately. But it was one of our favorite places to play. And then we would play at 7 Dining Lounge because that was another all-ages venue that used to be around too. Mm-hmm. And so we just play wherever we can. But our favorite thing that we played at last year, in 2018, summer 2018, we actually did the Car Free Day Festival in downtown.
Nice.
Yeah. And even in December 2018, my guitar player and I, we actually did the Christmas market in downtown. And it was so much fun. And so we did, a bit of Christmas carols, right? And we also did, some covers, maybe some of our own stuff too. And so and so the Naturals. So that's my cover band.
Yes.
So we are more known for doing live band karaoke.
Wow, live band karaoke.
Yeah, or as we call it, rock karaoke.
Karaoke.
Rocky Okie. So we started that back in 2012. So my friend Jared Plett and I, we were the founders of the project, and we just started off playing at very small venues. We played in Kitsilano, and then when we actually had more members joining our team, then we did Fan Club on Granville Street for a couple of years, and then after that, then we did the Railway Club for a couple of years as well. But now what we're doing is we're just doing live band karaoke at corporate events, private functions, and that's how we reach out different markets, just through those kind of private bookings.
Lean against the law. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall.
We are actually up to 500 plus songs now, believe it or
Wow,
not.
500 plus songs. And they're all cover songs.
These are all cover songs, yes.
So it's karaoke, rocky-okie.
Rocky-okie,
And then,
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. And
Well, it's crazy though, because the way the list was brewed up, it wasn't just from our ideas of what songs we should throw in. A lot of it, during our time doing public shows, it was built by our fans who came to our shows. So our regulars would come by, and they would sing a song, and at the end of the night, they would say, "Hey, do you think you can, do this song, do that song?" So they helped craft the song list.
that's great.
Yeah.
And, Eddie, tell us about the Vancouver music scene. Is it growing? Is it declining?
Well, to be really honest, I think the Vancouver music scene can always do better. We've, with me being in the scene for quite a good number of years, I've seen a lot of ups and downs. I know that summertime it does bloom a lot because we have outdoor festivals, we got community events and all that, and of course that's the time to start hiring bands to play. But I think even in terms of just like on the non-summer seasons, it's really tough for musicians because we do know a lot of areas have been shutting down. The Media Club was one of them, right? And of course, I mentioned 333, and that was one of the very go-to places for all ages audience, right? And so it can be a very tough one. I know for the all ages scene, it is a really tough one for us, especially if we have a younger fan base that wants to come see bands.
Yes, and what do you think needs to be done though? Social media.
For sure.
That helps.
Yeah. I think one of the things I was talking to some friends about actually, and we had a conversation about this. A good suggestion would be any venue that you see that's being open or being about to open. I would say reach out to management. If you see that it's a good potential for live music, just reach out to them and say, hey, listen, I wonder if we can actually make live music happen here, and this is the reason why. You tell them about what's been going on, what's been the ongoing pattern. And so I think that's just the way that's one of the best ways to actually have more establishments happen. So that way musicians have a place to play.
Yes.
And that's the thing. We have so much amazing talent here, but not enough places to play, and I think that needs to change.
Yes, and social media is a good part that can
I would say
help.
so.
Yes, and I want to talk about a Whammy. Congratulations, 3 times, right?
That's right.
What is a Whammy?
So the Whammy Awards is a local music award that a group of people, they're local Vancouver musicians, they put on together. And what they do is that they want to put on a fun spoof award that parodies the Grammys. And so the categories were actually really, really fun, though. So for myself, I've won Best Piano Player. But there were some other really funny categories, too. Some really cool, quirky ones, like, say, not just Best Violin Player, not Best Guitar Player. There's also other ones, such as Best Sound Guy, Best Local Audio Producer, Best Bouncer, Best Door Person, Best Bartender at a live music venue, too.
Nice. Wow, that's so cool. And
Yeah.
it's going to be another award presentation next month?
Sometime in February. They have still yet to release the information on that, but it will happen pretty soon, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that. I see your shirt, Keeping...
Sleeping with Sirens,
Yeah,
yes.
so tell us about that. And you had a tweet, and you got lots of followers on that?
Oh man, so Sleeping with Sirens is a really famous emo rock band from the United States. And I actually did meet Kellen Quinn, the lead singer, back in 2018. So what happened was I met him through a friend of ours. There's a local band here called Chase Your Words who actually worked with Kellen. And so what happened was Sleeping with Sirens came to town in February 2018, and so I went to the show also. And then before you know it, both myself and Chaser Words, we were hanging out with Kellen and the Sleeping with Sirens gang at a pub next to the Vogue Theater. And we were just hanging out, chatting, playing darts, just talking about music and various other things. And it was such a pleasure just even talking to Kellen, a really nice down-to-earth guy. And then one day, I actually decided to take one of Sleeping with Sirens' old tracks that had Kellen's vocals on it. So I just took Kellen's vocals, and then I added my own instrumentation. I thought that'd be kind of cool to add like a different genre style of this song, because normally it's a heavy rock song, but then I turn it into a more funky pop kind of tone. And so I showed it to Kellen. And he was just like, "Whoa, this is so cool!" And he put it on Twitter, like very recently, and it's crazy. I haven't because I don't use Twitter too much, but then my notifications start exploding, and I'm just like, "Whoa, this is so cool!" And so of course, I said to Kellen, I said, "Hey, thank you so much, man. You're the best."
That's wonderful. And more to come. But which do you prefer, writing or performing?
Oh, that's a really tough one because I really enjoy both of those things. I think performing is something I prefer to do just because this is a good way to connect with people that come to your shows, right? So any audience member that you see, even if, besides your friends and family, but even say if a new person comes and says that he likes your stuff, it's totally worth it, because even that one person that comes to your show, eventually he may bring maybe 2 more, 3 more, 5 more, 20 more people to the show. And the things I love about performing is just you connect with people, and of course, second of all, you just get that joy of making people smile when you're playing.
Do you like large audiences or small, like more the intimate?
Ooh, yes, it's so funny, because I remember when I first played my first festival. It was at the 2010 Vancouver Olympics, actually, with my old cover band called Luscious, and that was my first time being involved in the cover band, actually, my first experience. So it was the premise was there was me, but the rest were all female instrumentalists. And so I remember having so much fun with that large audience, because I had like this wireless adapter for my guitar, right? And we were playing What I Like About You. And so during the middle of the song, I ran out to the front audience off the stage. So I ran off the stage, go to the front audience, high five everybody that I could find, right? And then I timed it correctly though, so I just ran back, go back to the stage, did a big jump, and then we hit that last note and we finished off that night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but what I love about small shows though is that you get that cool intimacy, right? You get that chance to talk to the audience even if, and just like have a nice regular conversation like you and I are having. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the fun part about it. We actually do a thing every year actually where I do an Eddie and Friends Christmas concert. Mm-hmm. And so, we do it in an intimate setting, so we do it at the Tipper in Vancouver, and it's got a nice, cool setup. nice, and you have like even if 20 people were in that room, you can still, feel that cool, comforting vibe, and but that's the thing. I love doing both those kind of shows because I know like the bigger scale shows is really exciting, but the smaller shows, you get to connect with people more easily that way.
And how does it make you feel that you are connecting with the audience?
Oh, such an amazing feeling, because this is how you start conversations with each other.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. And what is next for you?
Well, I am putting together a show with Cry of Silence and 2 other local bands, where we're going to be playing at a show at this place called the New West Front, and we're going to be doing a theme party where people can wear hats, wigs, and helmets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hats, wigs, and helmets.
That's right. Yeah. So if you have like a space helmet, a Viking helmet, or a clown wig, or anything like cowboy hat, whatever like that. Because we love to make shows fun and quirky, right? Because that's how we make it stand out. Because tons of shows can always happen, but for me, I'm always a strong believer. If you really do want people to come to your shows, you got to make it stand out somehow.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And then also, and it's been an ongoing thing, and it's been a lot of fun. I would love to have you there too. I host piano karaoke night.
Piano karaoke.
So it's a
Cool.
so it's a spin-off of Rockaoke. So instead, it's just me playing piano and doing all the hosting. So you get the same amount, the same type of songs as we do for live band karaoke, except it's like a lounge piano version of it.
I'll have to find a song, Eddie.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah.
And so if people want more information, where can they go?
Well, they can go to my website, is eddielammusic.ca.
And your social media handles?
That's right. So Twitter is Eddie Lam Music, and same thing with Instagram.
And all the best, and we'd love you to come back.
Thank you so much. Yes, thanks for having me again.
Congratulations.